This is Alan Marston, and I've got an important question for you I've been asking on almost every video, and that is, it's not important about how much you know, but who you know. So who do you know? How big is your network? How influential are you with your network? I want you to build a network that knows you, likes you, and trusts you. So that's what these videos are all about. So today what I'm going to talk about is the art of building relationships and networks. Now, for those of you that are experienced, the F.O.R.M method of asking questions, it's an easy one, right? It's family, F is for family, O is for occupation, R is for recreation, what do they do in their spare time? And I'll cover each of these in the videos to come. And M is for motivation, message, money. What do they do? What's their driving force? What wakes them up in the morning? Maybe they have something, maybe they don't, but until you ask, you're not going to know. Okay? So and it doesn't have to be in that order, by the way. It doesn't have to be family, occupation. Usually when I'm at a networking event, I often start with occupation. What do you do for a living? Right? And let them talk. Let them tell you what they do for a living. And then you want to, and your job is just to listen. 80% of the time you are listening. 10% of the time you're asking questions. Every time they're saying something, you're asking something back. So truly listen. Don't be thinking about what's my next question. Listen. Your job is to find out where their pain is and what they need. Because until you do something for them, okay, you haven't built relationship equity. And a lot of people, when I go to networking events, they're telling me what they need as soon as they meet me, okay? Instead of listening to my needs first. So if somebody's out there networking, everybody should be out there looking for someone else's need and figure out how you can help. Now, lots of times people will meet me and they'll doing with me what I'm suggesting you do, which is asking, lots of questions of me, and I'm talking, and they're telling me, what can I do? And they find something, well, and they're learning about what I need. However, if I do tell them what I need, and I've just done that, I just came from a networking with somebody, I always ask at the end, what can I do for you? If I haven't had a chance to really ask them. So you've got to ask them as well, and you got to figure, I prefer not to ask them, by the way. I prefer to discover it through questions. So let's look at the questions. What do you do for a living? Okay, that's what I want to ask. And then once they start telling you that, you could certainly ask them as well, do you enjoy that? Whatever job they're doing, do you enjoy that? That tells you whether, they might tell you, no, my boss is a pain. I don't like my boss. I hate my job, whatever it might be. And so what would you be looking for then that would be your ideal job? What would make you happy to do? Find out what they're doing aside from that. Like what's their message? So what do you do in your spare time? What do you do in your spare time for fun? That's a recreational message. What do you do in your spare time to live your passion, to live your purpose? You might discover something. Do you volunteer at your church, at a charity? And I've had people tell me, well, I've got a nonprofit. Oh, what's your nonprofit about? Your job is simply to ask a lot of questions. The one who asks the most questions gets remembered the best. Okay? And once you find out what they need, okay, I'm going to talk about that in the next video, because once you find out what they need, I'm going to show you how to fulfill it. Okay? I'm going to talk about that next.